Chicago Cubs missed out Wednesday night on an opportunity to further their lead in the Central Division, as well as get another sweep of a team and a series. Unfortunately, home run woes for the pitchers and lack of runs for the hitters caused Chicago Cubs to miss out on a grand opportunity. Let's cover it right after this. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Mike Jones back again with another episode of Chicago Cubs Central. That's right, your number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs here on the Chi-Town Sports Central Network. We appreciate you so much for tuning in to this episode. Hey, guess what? You can also find all of your favorite Chicago teams. All you have to do is put the team name, Chi-Town, and then Central after, and literally they'll come up. We got Bears, Cubs, Bulls, Blackhawks, Illini. We got every single thing, including those White Sox also. So please tune into the other channels also. And yeah, just make sure that you tune in, like, share, and subscribe also to this channel. If this is your first time watching, hi, I'm Mike Jones. Appreciate you for tuning in. If you're a repeat watcher, hey, listen, I appreciate each and every last one of you that tune in every day and make this a pivotal stop in your day to tune in just to hear what I have to say about our lovable Chicago Cubs. Now, with that being said, in yesterday's game, the Chicago Cubs had an opportunity, a grand opportunity to do something that I thought needed to be done, which was to further themselves, give themselves a bigger, better lead in the division. And how do you do that? By winning ball games. And I thought that yesterday's game was a winnable game. The offense just could not muster up anything against that Marlins pitching. Again, like I said, honestly, the Chicago Cubs are actually lucky when you look at it because they could have actually lost this series 1-2. Like I said, they really dominated that first game, but yesterday that the offense did not muster up anything until the very end of the game. Again, like I said, and today the Marlins defense was able to come in and close this game and finish it off, and keep the Chicago Cubs from scoring. The Chicago Cubs had a grand opportunity with the bases loaded, and unfortunately could not come up with the hit that would have changed the whole tide of this game and probably caused Chicago Cubs to go on to victory. Unfortunately for them, that was not the case. It was not meant to be. They see these same Miami Marlins next week. They do 3 games against the White Sox starting Friday. And then, like I said, they will go back. They will then fly down to Miami and face Miami in Miami. So, again, like I said, the Chicago Cubs just had to figure out how to get this offense going. And I've been thinking to myself, how could the Chicago Cubs get their offense going? It was a feel-good story to call up Moises Ballesteros yesterday. He did not play in today, and it was good to call up Moises Ballesteros on Tuesday. He did not play in yesterday's game. But I think it's time to look at Matt Shaw. In my eyes, in my estimation, I think it's time to look at Matt Shaw. From all the talk that we've heard and from all that we've read, he's ready to come back up to the majors. And I think he is just the boost that the Chicago Cubs offense needs right now. He's been taking great swings. He did not fix his stance. No, he did not fix his swing. His batting stance and his swing are still the same. He has that he almost like his back to the pitcher and he just kind of swings out of it. He still has that same approach, but he has been doing very well down in AAA. I think the Chicago Cubs are trying to scuffle right now with not having Ian Happ. I think this is one of those prime games where had the Chicago Cubs had Ian Happ, which I know it's easy to say after the game, but I just feel like these are one of those games where he would have made a difference. He would have been able to string something together, get a couple base hits, drive in some runs, and been able to help the Chicago Cubs. Moving PCA and moving Dansby Swanson out of their natural positions does not help this team at all in the batting order. Hopefully, Ian Happ will be ready to go by next week when the team resumes play in Miami, because He loves to play in Miami. Ian Happ has great numbers in Miami, but even better than that, Ian Happ loves Cincinnati. He loves to play in Cincinnati, and he has great numbers in Cincinnati also. So I would love to see Ian Happ come back for those two series. However, there is a series we need to worry about, which we will cover tomorrow, that is up against those Chicago White Sox. For today, though, I just wanted to note the home run issue for Jameson Taillon. It's really getting serious. Over the last two starts, Jameson Taillon has surrendered 7 home runs. As a big league pitcher, as someone who is, supposed to be one of the guys you can depend on, it is pretty alarming right now that Jameson Taillon is struggling to keep the ball in the park. This is an issue that we've seen him deal with before in years past when he's pitched for the Chicago Cubs, and it's starting to rear its ugly head once again. Now, albeit this was nowhere near the start against the Mets, where, like I said, where I mean, I feel like they just crushed everything he threw at him. But he gave up he gave 3 home runs in the game. And again, like I said, that's not a recipe for winning. That's not a recipe for winning. That's not a recipe for having success at Wrigley Field this summer when it really heats up and you're playing in 90, 95-degree weather, and there is no wind blowing in, and it's not knocking the ball down. That is not a recipe for success. So the Chicago Cubs are going to have to figure something out with Jameson Taillon and figure out how to keep the ball in the park. He is a strikeout pitcher. His stuff is still good, even though his velocity has dropped and Father Time has kind of caught up with him a little bit in that speed, but he still has great movement on his pitches. However, he is struggling right now to keep the ball in the field. So I need to know from you guys, the question of the day: what would you say Jameson Taillon could do bit different to keep the ball in the park? We want him to stop giving up all these home runs. I mean, it's just getting to the point where it's ridiculous. And like I said, it's just crazy, man, because we really need him to be solid right now. Like, we're really low on pitchers. Uh, and like I said, it's just wild to me because he struggles so much with keeping the home run ball in the park. Um, and like I said, it's only going to get harder as the season goes along. So for Jameson Taillon, he has to figure this out. This is something that the Chicago Cubs, him, Tommy Hotovy, Craig Counsell, they have to figure out. They got to get him back in the pitching lab and figure this out here soon. Because, like I said, it's one of those things where it's going to begin to cost the Cubs more and more as the season goes on if he is unable to keep the ball in the park, eliminate the home run ball. So we'll just have to see what happens. Like I said, the Chicago Cubs do have an off day today. There is no baseball. So, hey, enjoy a day of stress-free, no Cubs baseball. Maybe tune into the Marquee Network, watch some AAA ball, see what they're doing. And then again, like I said, we will resume at 1:20 tomorrow against the White Sox at Wrigley Field. And of course, Saturday is my day because I'm going to the game. Cannot wait to be at Wrigley for that game. My first time going to Wrigley in what, like 4 years, I want to say. Probably no, actually about 6 years since before COVID. So I'm super excited to go back to the ballpark. It won't be my first time. It won't be my last time this year going to the ballpark. But I'm excited to go. I'm going to be out there in the bleachers. We'll do an episode from the bleachers after the game is over with. So I'm excited to do that too for you and present that to you guys. So please be looking out for that. Once again, guys, that's my show for today. I appreciate each and every last one of you. Enjoy this off day, stress-free. Just tune in. Like I said, tomorrow as we resume play for the Chicago Cubs, and there will be another episode in the morning talking about the Chicago Cubs versus the Chicago White Sox and the keys to success this weekend. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Please make sure that you also write me an email at cubsbaseball1992@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Appreciate each and every last one of you. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, go Cubs, go. Peace.
Thank you for watching another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, the #1 spot for all Chicago Cubs content. Remember to like, share, subscribe for more Cubs content.